Good morning. So glad that you decided to join us this morning for business planning. For 2019, I want you to own your market. And I'm going to go ahead and give you the insider information. I'm not used to doing webinars like this. I'm used to doing Facebook Lives. So Eric is like arm's length from me. And he's waving right now, just in case we have any technical difficulties. He will pop in over here, and you'll see him come over this side and help me run this technology so that we can get through today and you can get some really good meat. We have an hour to spend together today, and normally, like yesterday, I taught this class, and normally it takes about 3 hours to do. So we're going to be cramming in a ton of information for you today. I hope that you have printed out your packet, and you see I've even filled out some of mine on this, and we're going to be writing, and this is going to be a workshop. So I took out bells and whistles and fluff that I normally keep in my 3-hour classes, so that we're getting hardcore meat business planning info. So I want to thank you for the 101 people that have registered to be here this morning, and all the people that are here now joining us. Before we get started, I also want to ask you to join our community for free. We go live every single morning at 8:15 Central Standard Time with a tip, a teaching moment, and we don't last long. We just get on there, give you something great to start the day, and then it's recorded on Facebook Live so that you could watch it later if you don't have a chance to watch it in the morning. So that is Get a Real Estate Life Community on Facebook, and make sure you like our business page at Get a Real Estate Life also. Okay, so I'm going to give you a taste of business planning today, some hardcore meat, and we're going to be going over filling out this one-page business plan. By the end of it, you will have all of it completed, and you will have a great idea of what your budget's going to be for 2019 and all the things that you are going to implement everything into your business. And we're going to make it simple. Doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes we make it way more complicated than it has to be. And Marilyn, you just asked, how do you get a copy of all of the handouts? They're actually attached in the dashboard, right, Eric? Okay, on the dashboard, you'll see an attachment. Let's see, we've got, it looks like a paper clip, and all of the handouts are in that. So did you also, and they've also been emailed to you as well in an attachment. They were emailed to you ahead. Oh, good, you got it. Fantastic, good. So let's get busy getting your one-page business plan put together. So the first thing that I want to share with you, and again, this is all new to me, if you can see this PowerPoint, the first thing I want you to do on your notes page is to really think about 2018, right? We can't plan for 2019 until we have kind of gone through what worked in 2018, what didn't work, what you want to change, because your business may have been the best year you've ever experienced, and you want to keep a lot of those things in place for 2019. If it sucked, because I will tell you this, the market was fantastic in 2018, but there are a lot of agents hurting right now. There are a lot of agents that have been experiencing less of an income in 2018 than they did in 2017. There are a couple of reasons for that, and I do believe it's because it's been a tight market. If you didn't have listings and you were working with buyers, then that was very difficult to get some traction in the market with multiple offers going on. That's one of the reasons. Another reason is we've been flooded with a lot of new people, and we welcome you into the business and we want you to do well. But it does creep away at everyone's market share. The other reason is a lot of you, when you're busy and you're blowing and going and you're meeting with people, you don't have time to stay visible with your sphere of influence and the people that have always hired you and the ones that you can depend on and count on. So they are seeing other people be more visible. So those are the reasons I feel like a lot of income for top producing agents are down in 2018. So let's change it for 2019. We've addressed some of those issues. You probably know the issues that are going on in your life. Some of you in 2018 just said, dang, I'm tired. I really just didn't want to work. And so I get it. I totally understand. So I want you to make sure that you have time out for yourself and vacations as well. So I want you to make a note of everything that made you proud in 2018. What excited you? What did you achieve? Did you hit your goals? Were your listings selling quickly? Did you handle all communication with your clients very well? What made you proud? What made you just very excited that you brought value? What made you confident in 2018? I'm going to give you a minute to kind of fill that in. If you're just joining us, welcome. We have a lot of people on this webinar, and I'm very thankful you're here, and I'm ready to pour into you. So make those notes on your note page. What made you proud in 2018? Now, I can tell you that it could be, hey, you finally got your marketing consistent. Hey, the social media, here, do you want to answer these? We've got some people that are texting me about the links, and I hope that you've gotten them. It could be that, you decided to put some boundaries in place and you've been executing those. It could be that you went on awesome vacations. It could be that you lost 30 pounds. It could be that you ran your first 5K. Whatever it was that made you proud in 2018, have it on your notes. Okay. All right, we got a lot to cover, so let's move. What embarrassed you in 2018? And the reason I ask embarrassed, because embarrassed is a strong word and it's a strong emotion. Disappointment is not nearly as strong as embarrassment. And it could be that there were typos somehow on your marketing piece that you sent out. It could be that you were ugly to a co-op agent and spouted off. It could be the way that you ended up handling, a situation with a client that maybe you didn't know something. Maybe you made a huge mistake. Maybe some things fell through the cracks. What embarrassed you, in 2018? Write it down on your notes page. Get it out there. And I'll tell you why, because when something embarrasses you, by God, that is a stronger motivator than income, than rewards. You will change your behavior when you are embarrassed about something. You will be more passionate about never allowing it to happen again. So, maybe it's you had a bunch of expired listings. Maybe you took several listings that didn't sell, and you felt really embarrassed by that. Maybe some of your past clients hired other agents. Maybe your family members ended up hiring other people, and that really embarrassed you. Whatever it is, get that down, get it on your notes. All of this is for a reason, right? Your proud moments, your embarrassing moments. Every year has it, and every person has it. So I don't want any insecurities here. I mean, stuff happens. Selling real estate, there are just a lot of pieces and parts. You can't know everything. You're going to have, stumbles. And one of the things I shared yesterday in class when we were doing business planning is you are far more valuable when you have more problems. Because when you've learned to navigate through termite issues and through septic tank issues and home inspection issues, appraisal issues, then you are better for the next client. Because the most experienced and the most valuable agents out there have been through more problems than anyone else. And every time you have a problem, I want you to say, yes, thank you. I get to solve one, can help a client, and really show my value. And two, I'm that much more valuable now for the next person. Your problems that you stumble into are your blessings. So I want to make sure that you realize that in 2019. You're not looking for the easy clients. That's not what you're looking for. You're looking for the ideal client. You're not looking for the easy transactions, because they're all sucky. They're all hard. They're all difficult. They're all emotional. And that's why we or you still have a job. That's why you're still needed. That's why you still have value. So And forgive me when I get super passionate about this and kind of manic at the same time. I want you to see that when you are stumbling with problems, that one, it gives you an opportunity to put a system in place for your business, and two, makes you shiny and valuable. All right, moving on. Okay, so how are you now on that same notes page? How are you going to be superior in 2019? Take those things that embarrass the crap out of you and say, all right, what do I need to do, to be better? And I can tell you one thing right now that I am seeing a pattern. And it is something so easy. You don't need to learn advanced marketing techniques if you don't have your voicemail set up. Your voicemail is the easiest thing that you can do in your business. And I call agents all day long and nobody ever has their voicemail set up. Probably 1%. And if I get a computer generated, the number you have called at 205, blah, 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 then that tells me right away that you don't put any effort in your own business. So why should I hire you? And I'm sorry if I'm being harsh here, but why do you want to learn bells and whistles and secrets when you can't master the basics? So start with mastering the basics. How will you be superior in 2019? You are going to set up your voicemail. And your voicemail is one of the best sales tools that you have available, because your phone's going to ring all the time if you're doing the right marketing and if you're doing a great job. So it needs to reflect who you are, what you offer. It needs to reflect, what kind of business that you do, and it needs to speak to your ideal client. It is the first level of professionalism in your business, and it is the greatest marketing tool right there at your fingertips. So if you don't have your voicemail set up, please have it set up by the end of the day, because I am embarrassed for you whenever I give you a call and it's not set up. I immediately go, seriously? So you know that other people are doing that too. So I want you to be so much better than that. And actually, there's some research that backs up having a voicemail changed every single day will show that you are on top of your game. And I'll give you an example of that. Hey, today is Wednesday, November 14th, and I'm in appointments from this time to this time. I'm actually going to be with right? And I'll check my email and return my calls at this time and at this time. Can't wait to talk to you. Right? So every single day, people are like, wow, you're on it. So the person that says, hey, I'm on vacation, and it gives you the day, and it was 2 weeks ago, that sends the message of, I don't care, I'm too busy, and I'm probably too busy to do a good job for you. So keep all those things in mind. That's just one of the things. Are you going to be better at scripts and knowing what to say to people? Are you going to be superior by putting an awesome contract to close system in place? Are you going to be superior by getting more leads in of people that you want to work with? Are you going to be more superior by getting your pricing strategy right? Are you going to be more superior in 2019 by making sure that your listings sell, by doing a better job marketing them? How are you going to be superior in 2019 and be able to focus on those things? All of this is important, because we're going to go over here to the next slide. And we're going to create our ideal 2019, because if you have been experiencing lots of things in your life and in your business that you don't want, then we've got to get rid of that. And it starts by being extremely clear on what it is that you want. What is it that you want to get out of 2019? Starting with income. What kind of clients do you want to work with? Where does your heart, fulfillment, and joy go? Is it that first-time home buyer? Is it the luxury buyer? Is it the luxury property sale? Is it working with VA, veterans buying houses and selling houses? Really figure out your niche. Is it newlyweds? Is it second-time marriages? Is it first-time home sellers that really need your guidance? What fulfills you? What is your ideal client? Where do they live? What do they do for hobbies? What do they do for a living? Have all of this in your ideal, and I'm going to give you a chance. I'm going to be quiet right here. And I'm going to give you a chance to go ahead and really work on that for just a second. I need a little Jeopardy timer. All right, now really, if you didn't have a chance to finish this, I want you to come back and be as descriptive as possible, and I'll tell you why. There's the video that I play, and I'm sure you've seen it. It's all been all over Facebook. It's been all over YouTube. It's been on several different talk shows, and it's where Jim Carrey writes himself a $10 million check for acting services rendered, and he ends up being able to actually cash that check 3 years later. And the reason is because you have to be clear on what it is you really want so that you can achieve it. You have to see it. And I have a video where I was singing it yesterday with a bunch of people, and you have to see that you've got a six-figure income, or that you're a six-figure agent. You have to see it to believe it, and then everyone else will believe it, and then you create your reality around that. So being clear, being crystal clear on what it is that you want and where you're going is why we start your ideal 2019 this way. Before goals. I can tell you this past year for me has probably been one of the roughest ones I've done, because I haven't been clear on what I really wanted. When you have a lot of opportunities that pop up every day and be thrown at you every day, well, hey, maybe I'll try that. I like this. That's fun. That sounds great. So I want you to solidify what it is you want, so you know exactly what it's going to take to get there. All right, here we go. On to the next slide. Okay, so now we're at your goals. What is it that you want to achieve? And I'm going to just shout out a couple of different things. I want you to pull out your one-page business plan. It looks like this. Okay. And we're going to start with your goal, and there's some goal sheets in there that you can fill out a little bit later and have like your top 5, but I'm going to start for this, getting this filled out for you. So the top thing, let's just say you want to earn $100,000 in income. Now, if you want to earn $200,000 or $300,000, I want you to earn that. I've had clients start with me that were making just over 100 that made 2.2 million last year in commissions. That is kick butt, right? They had to be able to see it. And it all starts from the same process. Whatever it is that you want to achieve comes from this same process. And it has helped hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of agents that I've worked with. So let's start with something easy, $100,000. Okay. Now, I will reach this income by completing, just like it says on here, how many new client appointments each week. Okay. We don't need to be complicated. Let's zero it in. Okay. Be very targeted. And 2 things for 2019 that I see: focus on listings. If you only want to work buyers, that's totally fine. Change it to that. But if you focus on listings, you're going to have better life balance, and you're also going to have, you'll be able to calculate your business. Your business is easier, and it's going to be more profitable. You're going to have more of a life if you focus on listings. And even when you are experiencing multiple offers, let someone else sell it for you. Go and secure the properties and focus all of your time and energy on that. The buyers are going to come. They are going to come out from everywhere. You will not have any issue getting the buyers. So with all that being said, we need to be focused on relationships. The two things for 2019, the 2 words for 2019, relationships, back to sphere of influence. Super important. People want to be personal again. They're sick to death of automated, horrible communication that is not personal. It is time to get back and take care of people and pour into them and love on them for 2019. And you can love on sellers because the buyers will come. So we want 4 new listing appointments per week. And before your jaw drops, it makes things a lot easier when you have all of your action items saying, okay, my job description is to complete 4 listing appointments every single week, no matter what. On Monday, I get up. Everything I do is to get those 4 appointments, because here's the deal. When you are building a business, then your job is to secure listings. That's your job description. That is what you are to do, not actually get the listing sold. Okay? A job is getting listings sold. A business is securing listings. There's the difference. I want you to make sure you know what it is. So completing 4 listing appointments per week will, without a doubt, get you to where you want to be as far as income. And the better your ratios are, the better closing, because I didn't say you have to get 4 listings every single week. You would make a lot more than $100,000 if you actually secured 4 listings per week. I want you to complete 4 listing appointments, and you have the right to not be so good at being able to close on it. Just get out there and complete those. Now, you can formulate all of, how you're going to do that as we go through. The next thing I want to go down to is I will complete these appointments by using 3 lead generation methods. Okay. I want you to be very clear. You don't need 5, 6, 7, 8 lead generation systems. You really only need 1 good one and 2 backups to keep your pipeline filled and when you're focused. So of course, the first one, I already said it, I want you focus back on deep personal relationships in 2019. I can't speak this word, I'm sorry. So you need your database plan. You need your communication plan. You need your plan to reach out and build and keep top of mind with your sphere of influence, so that you don't have someone listing with someone else. You don't have family members hiring other people. You don't see other people's signs in your neighbors and your best friends' yards. And I know that hurts, but I want you to remember that pain, right? So that we will not allow that to happen to you ever again, right? You work far too hard with people to see your best repeat clients hire someone else, or people in your sphere of influence. So let's say your database plan, it's got to be, you to stay top of mind, you got to be loving on these people a lot. And I'm not talking, we get tons of messages all day long everywhere. So you have to stay in front of them and be inescapable. That is the word that I want you to own, to know. Be inescapable. Everywhere people turn, wow, that's her, that's him, working, doing a great job, working, not vacation, not time off, working and doing a great job of bringing value. There's a percentage of vacation that's totally fine, but when you only show that you're on vacation every week, people are talking about it all the time and they feel like you're not focused. So your database plan, you need to be touching people, 2 to 3 times every single month. And I feel that $4,585 over here on this investment is a fantastic plan for your database. So a little less than $5,000 for the whole year will take care of your database very well. And let me tell you how, because I want you to have these plans in place. And you can actually write this down on my client nurture communication plan. Okay, that consists of 150 people. Okay, and the reason I give you 150 people is because in 7 levels of communication, Michael Mayer says all the research has been done that 150 people that you know and know you and you have a relationship with, that you consistently market to or communicate with, will provide 30 closed sales. 30 sales will give you a 6-figure income. So that is why I'm always going to mention 150. Again, if you want to earn 200,000, bump that up. Bump that up to 300. We work with people that have 1,700 databases. We work with people that have, 2,000 databases of people that they really know, especially when they've been in the business a long time. So if we start with 150, then a good budget is $4,585 for that. And you need to have that set aside. You pay it monthly or as you go. And what it consists of are going to be 3 letters. It's going to be, you can jot these down. It's going to be 3 letters. It's going to be 2 events. And a lot of times you can get your events paid for by referral partners and sponsors. But I still want you to include that in your budget just in case. You might be the type of person that doesn't like to ask for that. So I want you to put the money aside and have your money working for you and know exactly what it's going to take. Y'all, for many of you, this is less than 1 sale that will take care of your entire database and live on them for a whole year. Okay, that is, let's see, 2 gifts. No, I'm sorry, 1 gift per year. That is 2 events, 3 letters. That is 3 note cards, and those are going to be personal note cards for holidays, which will be New Year's, 4th of July, and Thanksgiving. Okay, so that will take care of those 3, and it also takes care of a newsletter every other month that will have all kinds of fun stuff. Everything else is going to be phone calls, face-to-face appointments, and emails. So you sprinkle it in with all the free stuff. So that will actually take care of you for the whole year. That is your plan for your database. And you can actually write that in. All of the client nurture over here on investments will total the $4,585 that I've given you the pricing for. And that includes out the door with envelopes, postage, everything, design work. So let's go on to another way that you're going to be able to get, for a lead generation system to be able to get these 4 new client appointments per week with sellers, right? We want to be totally focused on sellers. And that's a farming plan. Okay, your database plan, I want you to love on these people because it's the least expensive form of business that you can do, and it's a lot of fun to get referrals. Farming is expensive as hell, and it works though. And I'm a huge believer, and I'm going to continue to be a huge believer of it because, please say that again. Okay, Krista, you were asking me to say something again. Can you type that out again so I'll know exactly what it is? I'm sorry, I got so caught up in what I was doing. Did you want me to list the database plan again? Okay. Whenever you type that in, I'll see it. Let's see. Where's my little? Okay. So let's see. Deanna says, farming the database. Do you see that, Eric? Do I need to click on it? Oh, Krista said I can't remember now. I'm sorry. Okay. If you need that again, I can actually go back over it. Okay, and Deanna, it says farming the database. Okay, farming the database statement. Okay, farming is different. Farming neighborhoods is different than working on your database. Okay, Deanna. So farming is where you take a neighborhood and an area and you say, hey, I want to own this area. And it could be, half of a neighborhood. It could be a whole neighborhood. It could be, I like you to choose at least 1,200 because if you have 1,200 residents, then you have a greater chance of converting those. Okay, and we need at least 24 touches for the whole year in direct mail and to be able to farm appropriately. So that's going to cost you a lot of money, and you need to have that money set aside for the whole thing. Here's the deal. 1 postcard is not going to get you results. Has it gotten results for my clients before? Absolutely it has, but it's a commitment. Farming is a commitment. Don't waste your money on 1 postcard if you can't do 24 of them. I want to be very clear on that. Save it and spend it on loving your database instead. Okay, so with farming on a 1,200 community, that's why you also can't pick a community that has 30 houses. your turnover rate is not going to be great, and it's going to take years for you to be able to convert that. So if you reach out to them 24 times a year with 1,200, one mailing with every door direct is going to be about $800 every time. Then you're looking at a pretty hefty bill. Now, you would be looking at about $1,600 investment every single month on that. So that's $19,200 to farm a 1,200 person community. You see how expensive that is, and you see the difference between living on your sphere of influence for $4,585. So again, I want to be realistic. I don't want to give you any pie in the sky crap. I want to give you the real deal. So that's the real deal. Now, here's what you can also do, though, and this is what I encourage you to do, is ask someone to go in with you and split that $19,200 where you were able to, what's half of that? Yeah, around 10. It's going to be 9,000, right? 600. Right? 9,600. Okay. So, and that will actually bring it down to around 800 per month for your investment. And that is actually easier for you to do, right? So, if you got someone to sponsor you, and don't immediately think a lender here, because we have all those RESPA situations with people that are actually in the business. Think outside of the business. Think furniture store. Think pool builders. Think roofers. Think people that actually would benefit by having a 1,200 database audience and consistently. So get all that in place now. You've got all this time before 2019 to secure those, and it could be every single month, or it could be for the whole year. And you partner and y'all commit to doing $800 each per month to hit 1,200 people over and over. Your farming plan, though, jot this down, has to consist of more than direct mail. If you're going to do it, I want you to be all in. And the whole point of doing direct mail, because after interviewing lots of sellers, hundreds of sellers, when I was putting together the Certified Home Marketing Expert, what I found is sellers do not find their agents online. Okay, so online marketing is not where they go. Now, do they go to check your reviews after they get a referral? Absolutely. They come from referrals. That's why you have to love on your database, and you need as many people in your sphere of influence in the neighborhood that you want to farm. Okay, so the whole point of direct mail is getting them over into your world, into your sphere, so that you can change them to the inexpensive plan. And the other place that sellers said that they hire agents is when they see a lot of signs. Well, you can't see a lot of signs in places until they know who you are. And the best way for you to have name recognition is to show up in their mailbox all the time. But here's how we take it further. And Lupe, yes, we did email all of the business planning handouts, and they're also in your dashboard as well. If you'll look at the attachment with a little paper clip, you should be able to have those. Okay, so we're still on the one-page business plan, and we're up at number 2. We've already filled in what the client nurture communication plan consists of. So we're talking about farming because we want sellers. Now, you might not want to be in farming. Totally fine if you don't want to do that, and you've got some other means that works great for you, like working expireds or for sale by owners, because very, very, very few people do that. If that's something that excites you and you want to build a business around that, then please do it. You can have some excellent results because you'll just be one of the few that do it instead of everybody. So let's take your farming to the next level. Whenever the mail drops, right, we want you to, yes, have cheesy magnets or branding on your car, and I want you to drive through the entire neighborhood. I want you to go through every single street when you find out what time the mail runs. After people get off from work, I need people to be able to see you after they think about this. They pull this out of the mail, and they're like, huh, okay. They're about to throw it away, and then they look over and they see you driving by. Wow. They're really working this neighborhood. Then, right, they they'll go in a little bit later and they'll scroll through Facebook and they see all of your stuff that is the same as the postcard as an ad targeted to that neighborhood. You become the word I asked you to be, inescapable. And then maybe you're doing some Facebook tips where you are have your the photo, or you're doing videos with the neighborhood sign behind your back. When people are scrolling through Facebook and they see a sign of their neighborhood, they're going to stop and they're going to find out what it is that you have to say, because it's about their neighborhood. It's personal. So these are all things that you can do to take your farming up to the next level and be very successful with it. And then you throw in events and open houses. Okay, events meaning I've had agents do cupcake trucks in neighborhoods. I've had agents do Santa in neighborhoods. I've had agents do ice cream trucks, just fun stuff like that, which actually would get you another touch, because you can send the invite and then you can send a thank you and you can actually do the event itself. So all those things are really very expensive when you think about it. Like a ice cream truck is usually only going to be $200. I know one of my clients got several listings from a cupcake truck. That sounds hilarious. And it cost him $305. It was a huge success with very little money. And it just goes a long way too, because then you can take those pictures and put it on social. You can email it. I mean, the list goes on. So that's how to take your farming up to the next level and make that investment pay off for you. So now we've got that out of the way. We've got those income things. I want you to add the rest. Are you on Zillow? Then put that down as an expense. That's one of your lead generation systems. Are you using anything else? Our fee is $2,500 a month when we take care of all of these things for you. We actually take care of your social media, your Facebook ads, your Facebook posting. We take care of designing your farming pieces and getting it out. We take care of living on your database and have it scheduled, all of that. So if you are thinking about stepping everything up to the next level, then add that $2,500 per month into your budget. All right, what other lead generation system is it? Facebook ads that you're doing constantly. Put that in there and put your investment over. Whatever it is that you are doing. If you are not getting let's see, someone says, I have a meeting to go to. Okay, a recording of this will be sent to you right after. So one day after, not today, one day after. So, okay, I'm sorry, I lost my place for a minute. Whatever other lead generation plans that you are using and you are getting a return. Here's the situation. I have people that'll spend $30,000 a year on Zillow and they might get one sale. That's not a return on investment you want. Not at all. I don't even care if it's $1 million sale. It's not the kind of return you want. You need things producing multiple sales. I mean, hell, we sent out one letter for a client the other day that immediately, no, it was an email, one email, so it was free, got an immediate listing off of it, sold in 3 days, and that's the kind of response you want. It doesn't work for everyone every time, but it works for most people most of the time. We sent out letters out to some neighborhoods because buyers were looking in them, and one of our clients got 2 listings off of that. So when you think about spending $30,000 on Zillow and you only get one sale out of it, then that's not the return of investment that you really want. If you're getting multiple sales off of it, because I will tell you this too, I had a mid-year, I'm reviewing expenses for one of our clients, and she had spent $15,000 on an internet lead generation system, and 60% of her closings came from that. Well, that is a dang good return, right? So I said, keep spending that money. Keep it. Let's get rid of these things over here. So I want you to go through and look at all of your transactions, and that is going to be on your report card. Going to go up here. Well, Oh, there it is right there. Okay, I want you to look at your report card and judge your performance on these things. And then I want you to look at the transaction worksheet and figure out where your business from 2018 has come from. That will give you a great idea of what you need to spend your money on. And if you are not getting the return on certain lead generation systems, delete them. If you are getting a fairly decent return on some of it, figure out how you can be better with it. If you're getting a great one, then keep it. So most of the time, people will actually fail by taking care of their database. That's usually where the work and the money and the investment need to be poured into, than looking for another great lead gen system. So take a look at this report card. It looks like this. Okay, and I want you to real quickly go through, give yourself a grade for personal accountability. Personal accountability is very important. Buyer presentation, are you great at bringing value on that buyer presentation? Do you lead people through the right expectations? Do you make sure that people understand the process? Do you make sure that people understand, how you are involved and what your value is in it? Or do you just get people to sign a buyer presentation, an agency at closing, just so because your broker says you need it? Or do you just email it over and ask them to sign it? Go ahead and give yourself a grade on all of that. Doing a proper buyer presentation will change your entire business, by the way. And if that's one thing you need to do to be superior, then I would definitely start working on those skills for sure and practice. Listing presentation, same kind of thing. Do you, are you able to set those expectations? Are you able to secure the signatures? Are you able to have your price reductions in place? Are you able to get the right pricing on your listings? Are you able to convince your seller to prepare their house for the most? All of those things. Go ahead and give yourself a grade on that. Lupe can't find where the handouts are. I know someone else found them easily. If you look down at the bottom, it says handouts 1 of 5. Right above chat. And
if you look in your dashboard, it's right there under handouts. Okay. And it should also be in your email, the same email that had the access link.
Yeah, it's also in your email. Okay, let's go on into prospecting. Are you good at prospecting? Give yourself a grade. Scripts. Do you know what to say? Every single time. Knowing what to say means you know your job. And that's why people talk about scripts. I'm going to throw that whole word out because people hate that word. They're like, I'm really not a script person. Really what you're saying is I like to wing the crap out of it. But people know exactly when you're BSing them. And a good script is really just knowing your job. Think about the questions that you ask people. If you ask the charter cable person about, different types of uploads or downloads and, how many lines can I have? If they are looking at something and stumbling over the words, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. And that's why getting into practice, every single person is going to have, or you're going to hear the same objections over and over and over and over and over again. So having answers to that will prove to people that you know what you're talking about and that you're confident in your abilities. So that's why it's important to really work on scripts, but use a different word for it. How about just say knowing what the hell you're talking about? Okay, so going on to prospect follow-up, or if you're great at that, give yourself a really good grade. Client nurturing, listing promotion, time blocking, negotiating. And I'll tell you that negotiating is a complaint that I got all of the time when I was actually speaking to sellers. They've felt very disappointed by negotiations. They feel like, once an offer is in place that we start talking them into taking the offer instead of actually negotiating what they want. So that is something that we need to understand what our language is, and are we doing that? Because we might feel like, hey, this is a sell for you, you need to take it. Or is it being able to take their wishes and convey it in the right way, or come up with the strategies for them so that they get the most out of their property? Just remember those things. And real estate knowledge. I can tell you this, that of all the things that it's okay to have an F on this, it's going to be real estate knowledge, because you can make a six-figure income by not having a lot of it. And I know that you go out with people all of the time that prove that. Nicole, I know that you were trying to say something, but it's a symbol that's typed out. All right, let's move on to transactions. I'm going to give you just a moment to jot down where all your business has come from in 2018. Okay. If you need to go back to that now, because we're blowing and going, we only have 15 minutes left. And let me go ahead and also share this with you. This will get you ready and planned, but if you want to take this to the next level, we have all of a whole year's coaching wrapped up in a course that you can do, packed in 60 days. And it will dig deep on all the systems that you need to implement into your business to build a six-figure foundation. Normally, I mean, I gave you what our fees were, but normally, we sell this for a lot more. We discounted it down to $299 just so that you could take advantage of it and be completely prepared for 2019. See, I can't speak. Prepared for 2019. Go to 60days2sixfigs.com. 60 days to 6 figs, and you can actually download a free checklist or scoop up and grab that before we mark it back up. All right, so we got that out of the way. Now you know where all your business comes from. So if you need more time to work on this at home, then definitely do that. Just continue to work after this webinar, and this will be eye-opening. If you are not getting business from different lead generation systems that you're spending money on, then you might want to evaluate what you are spending money on. All right, so now we've got 2 sections filled out on our one-page business plan. We have our client nurture communication plan filled out. We have our lead generation systems planned out. And now we need to work on your personal follow-up plan. Your personal follow-up plan is going to be to increase conversions. And these are from the leads that you get coming in every day. If you're out there pounding the streets, then you want to have an excellent follow-up plan. And it could consist of all free things. It doesn't have to be expensive, but I want to give you a couple of ideas of things that will really set you apart if you want to be an agent that people see as an expert, as an authority figure, as the person to go to, as someone that has a lot of value. If you don't, then just stick with free emails. It's totally fine, either way. So the first thing that I feel like is very good to be able to do is a video text. And you can use BombBomb, but you can actually just do this on your phone for free. You can scale most everything to free. And I love free stuff. And I love you to have free stuff because I want you to spend money on the things that really matter. So you can do a quick intro of yourself video where you text it. It's got to be short enough to get their attention right away, and you will stand out immediately because nobody's doing this. That will be a great way to convert. Then continue by phone call and email until you have, or text until you have a conversation. Then when you have a conversation, you can start the personal follow-up plan. The very first thing that I'd like you to have is a personal brochure. I want you to be able to send that to them so they can see what exactly it is that you do, why you're different, the value that you bring, testimonials from clients that you've worked with, maybe a couple of success stories so that people will know that you're not just an agent, you're special. And so you want a personal brochure. So you will want to get as many of those, and then you put your investment down on that. And that could be as inexpensive as, $150 up to a couple thousand, depending on what you want it to look like. So I didn't want to give you a price range on that. I wanted you just to be able to mark that down as, hey, personal brochure and a minimum of $150 on that expense if you don't already have one. All right, so then the next thing that would be great for you to have lots of personal note cards, okay, that you want to send them a personal note card. Again, you're sprinkling in text and phone calls, and let me see if I can find, here we go. Okay. All right, these are just different plans that I want you to have. Okay, but I'm looking for the actual. Looks like I had that slide in there twice. Okay, here we go. This is an idea. If you can see this slide well, and am I blocking it, Eric? By that, okay. So you can see the slide well, where this gives you a great idea. The personal brochure needs to be up at the top, but personal note card. So you want to order those. I think we just did some for Kathy O'Berry the other day. They were very, very inexpensive to do. So you want, a couple hundred of those, and make it some fun stuff. Like Reagan Denson, he's a loan officer with Mortgage Right. He had some created that was a drawing that his daughter did. So cute and so personal and just fun stuff to share. I've got two different, see this painting behind me? My mother painted that for me, and it is a city scene of Birmingham, and I made note cards out of that because it means something to me, and both of it does. Something my mother did for me as a gift, and this city that I love so much and all the people that are in it. So I like to share that through my note cards. My daughter also did a painting for me that I turned into a note card. So put that on your list on your personal follow-up plan, that you need at least 300 to 500 of those throughout the year. Now you can make 150 order and then another 150 order, but this needs to be on your personal follow-up. Okay, and again, you can get them inexpensively. That's another like $150 expense. So you'll see the other things that I have on here, that ways that you can stand out. One is a free coffee to McDonald's. Just have a little coupon. It's only $1. Put it in a note card to say, grab a cup of coffee on your way into work on me. You're going to stand out. Now, the thing that is a big deal on here, because you were also sending video emails and text messages and phone calls throughout your follow-up on this, because you were trying to get an appointment. Remember, all of your action items are going to be to get those 4 appointments per week with sellers. That is the whole reason I'm sharing this with you. So we have to go back to the original purpose. Why in the world am I doing this? To get your 4 appointments. So, and you always want to ask for the appointment. Every conversation you have, ask for the appointment, ask for the appointment, ask for the appointment. So the other thing on there that I put is a tin of branded cookies and also a scratch pad. So like, let's see, I had a scratch pad that I was working on just a minute ago. Okay, and I won't show you my scratch, but see, Allstate right here in front of me. I use these all day long, and so I'm constantly looking at the Marcus agency every time I do that. These are great. People use these, and so very inexpensive. I mean, like not even 50 cents to get these in bulk. Put that in as an expense of something you want to have, and then you can actually mail that to people so that you are staying in front of people all day long. Okay, all of this is excellent for your personal follow-up plan because you want to be inescapable, right? That's a great way to be inescapable. And you just mail those to their house. So the next thing, when I just barely mentioned the branded cookies, the reason I have that on there is because it's a wow factor. All of this is a wow factor, but that one is a huge one, and I love to tell the story, and so if you've heard it before, I apologize, but there is a place that I go to get my car serviced, and they will mail you a box of cookies with their name on the top of it. And my husband was so impressed that he took a picture. He put it on social media. He told everybody to use that place. He tells every single person we come in contact with, have you ever taken your car to so-and-so? They sent us some cookies. All right. It's a big deal when you do a wow factor to stand out. And I want people to be talking about you like that. So what, I'm like, if you send somebody some cookies, people are like, wow, I cannot wait to set up an appointment with you. Okay, and then you can wow them in other ways with your pre-listing presentation, then your listing presentation, and then your follow-up after that. So all of these things, right, we want to put in place as an expense so that you are bringing the wow and you are getting the appointments. So all right, now we filled out all of that. We are down to the bottom where it says, I will open up a bank account and put a percentage of every sale into your marketing expenses. You can either put a dollar amount, and the bank will set this up for you a lot of times too. Or you can put a percentage and stick by that, because what happens is you'll budget all this out and then you're like, well, I haven't had enough sales. I don't to spend on marketing right now. Don't put yourself in that position. Go ahead and take a percentage out of each one for the future, because you have to keep generating these appointments. And sometimes it's going to take money. If it doesn't, then you need to get on the streets and ask the magic question. What 3 people do you know that need to sell a house in the next 60 days? That is the magic question. You want to set it up appropriately in your own style so it's very natural and genuine. And I'll use it on Eric right here. Eric.
Yes.
I don't know if you really know what's happening right now. I mean, the real estate market is so crazy. Our office has, dozens of pre-approved home buyers, and we've exhausted everything in MLS. I mean, everything. What we really have a shortage of right now is well-priced and well-conditioned homes. What 3 people, you've got to help me. What 3 people do you know that need to sell a house in the next 60 days?
Well, I think I heard my coworker mention that.
You see?
I'm not 100%, but I'll ask them at work tomorrow and get back to you.
Okay, so what he did was he looked up to the right and he was like, because he's thinking, okay? So when you ask in threes, then people will start thinking about who they've heard. And I had a sense of urgency with that. And I was able to ask them one question, not buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. A brain can't process that. It's too much. So you're going to get that very generic answer, just like you give when you go into retail. When you say, know anybody who needs to buy or sell? Know anybody who needs to buy or sell? Or the one that I really hate is, you know anybody who needs to buy, sell, or invest? Really overload. Ask for what you want. What 3 people do you know that need to sell a house in the next 60 days? That is your magic question. That is your prospecting question. Now you can move yourself up to an A if you ask that 10 times a day on the prospecting report card. So if you don't have money to generate the marketing for these appointments, then you always have the time to be able to ask that question to your sphere of influence, or just to get lost at the mall or at the grocery store where your name tag, and ask that question when people start talking to you about real estate. It's really easy. It's not that hard. Go to restaurants, coffee shops, ask 10 people a day, and you will start filling your calendar with seller appointments. It's that easy. Okay, so now we will go down to, I will open a separate bank account and put a percentage of every sale to contribute to my end of the year and quarterly tax payments. What? We can business plan if we don't tell our money what to do. And every year, April 15th, people are always shocked that we owe taxes. And if you're having a great year, you are going to have to pay a lot. So, okay, repeat the $299 program. Okay, I'll be happy to do that. Okay, it's called 60 Days to 6 Figures, and it is at www. the website 60 days to 6, all numbers, figs.com. And what it does, it helps you. It's an 8 weeks program, and every single week you are building the systems that you need to build a 6-figure foundation. It is everything that I have ever coached in the past 10 years, all of the six-figure business and plus, right? We've got clients that make millions of dollars in commissions every year. But they all started with these same systems in place so that you have a strong six-figure foundation. And right now it's $299, and so you can do it for the rest of November and December and just hit 2019 head on with all of this crap out of the way and implemented. That's what I want for you. So I hope that answered your question. Okay, so now we're going to go on. We got our tax payments in, right? You really need to put 30% there, and maybe 40 if you want to overestimate it. That way you've got all of that money saved up. Okay, now at the very bottom here, look at that. We have just like smoked through this. Down here at the bottom, you want to look through, what new systems you want to implement this year. Do you want to implement a lead generation system, or do you want to get an assistant, or do you want to get a contract to close company? Do you want to get maybe a new car for showing buyers? Maybe maybe free stuff like a MailChimp account to email people, or Constant Contact, or a new CRM that you really need to help you get organized. Whatever those new systems are that you really want to implement in 2019, put that here and put a cost over there as well so that you can add that to your investment for what to save. And again, if you want all of us to do this for you, then you would add our $2,500 a month that takes care of all of you to do that. Again, if you want to join our community for free, just go to Get a Real Estate Life community on Facebook, and you will get all kinds of free stuff in there. We are teaching every single day free stuff that you can use just like this. All right, and then accountability. Let's talk about accountability for a minute, right, as we're wrapping up. I'm going to rant here for a second because accountability pisses me off. When I hear people say, you don't hold me accountable enough, that is an excuse. You should be holding yourself accountable. You are a grown person. Do people really need to tell you what to do and then kick you in the butt when you don't do it? No. You have to put things in place in your own life to keep you personally accountable to achieving what you want to do. Because if you want it badly enough, and that comes back to knowing what it is you really, really want, if you don't want a six-figure income, then don't put it on there. Don't put the pressure on yourself. It's totally fine. If you don't want to be a $500,000 income producer because you don't want to put all the effort out that would take to do it, it's okay. You can be whoever you are, whatever it is that you really want. Just go back to what you really want, and then put those personal accountabilities in place for yourself, because nobody's going to make you do it. I don't care if I come to your house and punch you in the face every single morning. It's not going to make you pick up the phone and ask 10 people the magic question. It's not going to. Now, what will is your desire to have that achievement. If you really want that desire and you are really motivated, then nobody ever, ever has to tell you what to do. And I can tell you this, if people are telling you can't do it, you're going to find a way to make it happen and to do it. Just think about when you were a rebellious teenager, right? And your parents told you could not do something. Oh, you were going to figure out how to get to that concert, right? How to pay for it, how to get a ride there, how to sneak out of the house to do it. And no, I never did anything like that. So personal, when it comes to accountability, this is just one more thing that I hear, and it just ticks me off. People use it as an excuse. Well, my broker doesn't hold me accountable to anything, or my coach doesn't hold me accountable to anything. Come on. Hold yourself accountable. Put those things in place, and don't ever put the pressure on your spouse to hold you accountable for anything, because that is not why you chose to marry them, is so that, hey, you're supposed to tell me what to eat. You're supposed to tell me when to go to work and what to do and what to say and how to say it. You will end up resenting that person. Okay, hold yourself accountable and put those places right there for accountability to check yourself every single day. I have a worksheet that we produced a couple of years ago called My Six-Figure Day that helps you with, and it's all in 60 days to six figs. It is all into 60 days to six figures. My six-figure day will hold you accountable because you have to have a certain score every single day to keep yourself productive so that you're hitting that 4 new listing appointment goal per week. Okay. All right. Now let me end up with one last thing. If you feel like it is absolutely not possible for you to hey, Janet. No, this started about an hour ago, but it's all being recorded. Okay, so if you feel like 4 listing appointments are not possible, let me tell you it's crap. Because if you feel it's not possible and you believe it's not possible, it will never happen for you. I have clients that go on 7 listing appointments a day, per day, one day. So I know that you can do 4 per week. That's not even a full-time job when you really think about it. All of the effort is in getting the appointment. And that's what you need to be focused on. So get back in 2019 and really focus on relationships. Build that sphere of influence and love and pour into these people like nobody's business. Let me answer any other questions that are coming up. Okay, what was the percentage for marketing? Okay, so the percentage of marketing is going to be whatever you came up with as your investments for lead generation systems and knowing what you normally close. You can put, some people put $250 per sale. Some people put $500. Some people put 25% of everything that they do. Taxes are going to be 30 to 40%. And that's unfortunate, but it's true, and we can't do anything about it. So, marketing would be great for you to have just as much there so that you have a pool of resources to be able to keep you in business and going through the dry spells and until you become very, very consistent. So I hope that helps. And let's see. Okay, Lori says growing. Okay, can you send the slides? Sorry, is that 60 days to, yeah, it's 60 days, all 60 days, TO, number 6, figs, 60 days to 6 figs. Can we type that?
Yeah, you can answer it and send all.
60 days to 6figs.com and then send to all. Okay, hopefully that worked. All right, yep. Thank you for spending time with me today. This is, again, just scratching the surface. And, all of you have been on here the entire time. And I'm honored by that. And if you want to get stuff like this for free every day from us, just join our community at Get a Real Estate Life Community on Facebook, and we will be happy to welcome you into our world and always share what works, what doesn't work, so that you can grow in your business as well. Have a fantastic 2019, and I hope to see you in 60 days to 6 figures. Thanks so much for watching.